Los Angeles Lakers. Just talk about your mindset coming into this game on the road here in L.A.
I mean, it's obviously a different season for everybody. But, I think it helps that we don't have anything else to do. We come to L.A., everything's shut down. Got a lot of rest last night. We know that they had an extended season, quick turnaround. So we had to come out here and get it done. We knew they would make runs. We knew they would try to be playing fast and transition and play a physical game. We just had to match that. And once we took that first punch and we kept coming and we made it a game, a back-and-forth game, I knew down the stretch we would just have to be the sharper team, and I thought we did that.
Yeah, I thought there in the second quarter, Gary Trent Jr. really got going and really hadn't found his rhythm from the bubble this past summer, but really got going there and was a huge lift off the bench. Just talk about his development and his play here tonight.
Oh, I mean, the development, has been amazing. Just to watch from his rookie year where he wasn't in the rotation at all. And then the second year he wasn't really playing. And then later on in the season he came on strong. And then in the bubble, obviously, he just exploded, And I think coming into this season, everybody was expecting him to, to be that version of himself. And I think it's a little bit more pressure. It's harder to, to rise to that occasion when it's expected, So I think he was trying to, he was putting pressure on himself. And I think tonight, it broke through. He pretty much carried us on the offensive end, second quarter and the third quarter. And without him having that type of performance, this could be an easy win for them.
And, Damian, I got to talk about the defense. I mean, collectively as a unit, you guys came out and were fantastic defensively against a really high-powered offense from the Lakers. Just talk about that being a point of emphasis for your team this season.
Well, we've never had an issue with offense. We score the ball every year. We one of the better offensive teams in the league. And for us to really become a better team than we've been over the last few years is going to be us taking the challenge defensively. And we know it's not going to be perfect, especially when you're going up against a strong offensive team like the Lakers, like you just said. Other teams around the league, strong offensive teams like Denver and Utah and, teams like that, they're going to score, but you can't be discouraged. You can't stop trusting the rest of the defense. You got to just keep coming, keep being physical, keep communicating, and just keep trusting it. And I think we coming into that, and I think that's the challenge that our team is taking. And tonight was definitely a step in the right direction as far as, our defense goes.
That's great. And my last question. Last season, you averaged 36 points in 3 games against the Lakers, the most by a Laker opponent. Tonight, you had 31, 21 in the second half. What is it about you playing against the Lakers where you rise to this level of play?
I think it's just the challenge that they present. Every time I play against them, they sending guys at me. I'm seeing 2 and 3 bodies. And it's just one of those games where if you don't take that two out, they can really put you away and you could have a terrible game. So you got to be aggressive. You got to attack them. They make you think. You got to find your way. You got to, navigate your way through the game and try to find looks and make plays and just stay engaged. And I think when I'm forced to do that, play after play after play for 48 minutes, that's when I'm at my best, when it's a challenge out there. And, they always present that challenge.
Hey, great game, Dame, and great team win, and good luck for the rest of the season, all right?
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Grant, thanks to you and to Damian Lillard, who generally tells it like it is, Candace, and he knows the reputation of the Trailblazers. Not a great defensive team over the last few years, and he said that they've got to be better to get where they want to go. What is the gap between saying it and doing it over the course of a regular season?
Well, actions speak louder than words, and we've seen the transformation of the way that the Lakers played last year when LeBron James decided to play defense, when he decided to take ownership, and those guys around him really embraced that and really did it. Because when your star player is playing defense, then you feel as though you have to carry your weight as well. And this Portland Trailblazer team, Dame said it best, they can score the ball with anybody. And when you have that offensive firepower and the way in which they can score from outside, inside, so many weapons, they share the ball. The only time you kind of are able to not be in games or lose games is because you lack effort and energy and responsibility on that defensive end. And so if CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard really buy in to that, I'm telling you, I might have to get on Chuck's bandwagon and ride with them coming out of the West.
I do think defensively they showed what they're capable of tonight. And it'll be interesting to see if that can continue. But that's also a reflection of the leadership in their locker room, right? Like when your best players take that ownership and that accountability, say, you know what, I got to be better on this side of the ball. And Candace made a great point. We saw that reemergence defensively from LeBron. That's got to happen for them. And it's harder for those guys because, this is a team, they don't have a lot of rim protection. They got some good individual defenders. I think they can compete. They've got better depth, and I think their culture can change. So Terry Stotts is going to have to continue to challenge this group. And then what has to happen is they've got to do it over the course of the season because just because you do it once doesn't mean a whole lot. It's got to be a part of your DNA and who you are moving forward. So, the next month I think is going to be really big to find out if they bought in on that side of the ball or do they resort back to just trying to outscore you. But tonight I thought was a big step in that direction. They came up with some key stops when they had to, and their offense looks better, I think, in part because they've improved defensively. It takes a lot of pressure off of you to play hero ball when you feel like, we can come up with big stops in big moments down the stretch.
Well, that's been their thing over the last few seasons. Their margin for error was so slim, and you had to count on heroics by Damian Lillard or C.J. McCollum at the end of games to pull them out.